Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my Smackdown review, the go-home show before the Royal Rumble. Doing something a little bit different tonight. Kind of testing some new program and equipment out, basically, before the Royal Rumble this Sunday. Yes, there will be a double joint review. Me and my co-host, as usual, we will review this show. Hopefully, no schedule conflicts won't happen, but we are going to review the Royal Rumble this Sunday. So get ready for another double joint review and whatnot. But since I'm testing out a new program, I might as well test it out by doing out this SmackDown review tonight. This is the go home show before the Royal Rumble, as we did kick off the show with Daniel Bryan, as he talked about, we're only two sleeps away from the Royal Rumble, as his kid would say. And basically, he said he's accomplished a lot in his career, but the one thing he has not accomplished is winning a Royal Rumble match, and that it can change anyone's life. And so he can go into main event WrestleMania, and he nobody knows it better than him that he's been to the top of the mountain. He's been to WrestleMania. He's main event at WrestleMania. But the only way to achieve that dream, no, is that he has to go through other 29 other men, and that he doesn't know how many more WrestleMania moments he may have left. So he wants to have one more by winning the Royal Rumble match. And then talked about how he's been training with the whole Alpha Academy, basically Otis and Chad Gable there, and that his hips were loose and strong, and that he's going to see a lot of people just throwing each other, their friends turn on each other, enemies becoming friends, and a lot of surprise entrants. But next thing you know, AJ Styles from Monday Night Raw shows up with Osmos right there, as AJ talked about. We see 29 of the men get thrown out of the ring by AJ Styles. But Brian said, "This is SmackDown. Why are you here?" AJ says, "Why am I here? Because of the brand to brand invitational." And so he was the gatekeeper Raw. And, everyone's trying to follow in his footsteps right now. And he crushed a lot of hopes and dreams on Raw, everybody trying to get into the Royal Rumble. But Brian, I guess since he was there, I guess he wanted to match with him. But AJ says, "You're not look like you're ready to dress to compete." And he says, you're the GM again, huh? It looks like you got one foot out the door already, huh, Brian?" And Brian said, "I don't have one foot the door or anything, but he's still here because he loves wrestling." And he challenged AJ to a match tonight on SmackDown. And AJ said, "Okay, I like to have a warm up and whatnot." And next, he pushed Brian down. But when Brian started getting up, AJ's giant bodyguard was just standing, of course, looking very bigger than him. Brian said, "If AJ has any guts at all, why don't you come down here later tonight with or without your bodyguard Osmos there, and I'll still kick your ass." Okay, so good promo, I should say, to kick off the show. Like I said, a lot of people see Brian winning. He's a odds-on favorite to win the Rumble. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still kind of iffy who I think's gonna win the Rumble. I think Brian may win it though. I still got my money on him or Keith Lee, or I got it on Edge. I got my money on some people. I even got my money on AJ Styles winning the Royal Rumble. Okay, so it's a lot of top people to bet on when you look at it. So basically, that match was gonna be later tonight though. Bailey was in the back talking about Bianca Belair. Talk about her documentary and everything, but she runs away from a lot of her problems of life, and she will crawl in the darkest hole of her life after this match tonight. We did get Bailey and Bianca though, and basically a rematch after this. Good match to kick off the show. Good match to kick off the show. First official match, I should say. Not bad. Or whatnot. I thought it was enjoyable. Bianca got the win with the KOD. Right after then, Caleb Braxton interviewed Bianca, talking about, it's one of the biggest wins of her career, that, she never had to apologize for being herself. And yes, she did just be a SmackDown Women's Champion for over 380 days. That's one of the biggest wins of her career. But she said she's going to win the Royal Rumble match, and she will be the EST of WrestleMania. So when you look at the women's part of the Royal Rumble, that's my top pick to win. Bianca. I'll tell you that right now. That is literally my top pick to win. Okay. I would hope she does win, but honestly, I'm not even sure myself. But that's like at the top of my list for Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble, though. So hey, could happen. I'm not really sure. Next we got Dominic versus Corbin again. Honestly, why do I really need to see this match? Rey Mysterio was on commentary. I don't really care. I still don't know where this is. Are these guys even in the Royal Rumble now that I think about it? Because where is this going? I'm not sure. Um, Obviously, they haven't really had much for Dominic to do ever since the whole Seth feud and whatnot. So they really got nothing for him. Some think he should go back to NXT. He should have went to NXT to begin with, to be honest. But some people think you should send him there. I don't know what you can do with Dominic right now, but this Corbin thing, I don't care. And yes, Corbin did beat Dominic with the end of days. Ray basically took on Corbin in and basically hit him with a splash and knocked him away. Next, Big E, for some reason, still wearing a Christmas sweater, it looked like. Talking to Sonya Deville. And basically, how about, what's my number for the Royal Rumble? How about this? I'm going to give you $1 and an Arby's coupon. Next thing you know, Miz and Morrison showed up, wondering where Adam Pearce was. Sonya basically said, I guess, he's suspended from work right now, so I guess she's taking over. And Miz and Morrison started talking about the GameStop stock. That whole stock thing that's bad. I just saw about that today. I'm trying to look more into it and trying to understand what's going on, but I guess they made a joke about stocks due to that whole GameStop thing that's going on. So I don't know if it was really funny in that, but I gotta look that up more. Like I said, I saw something about it on TV today, but I wasn't really paying attention to it, so I'm gonna look that up. Big E though, I just talk about Miz and Morris and say y'all ain't gonna win the Royal Rumble. All of them start brawling with each other then. So yeah, everybody on Raw is just showing up on SmackDown now. They also announced that Tamina and Natalya will have a match on FS1 on WWE Backstage to see who will be number 30 for the Women's Royal Rumble. That's very random. And why should I care about any of these two women? Okay? Kind of odd that you're making a match out of nowhere. And like, hey, make sure you watch FS1 tomorrow night to, see who's going to become the number 30 woman in the Rumble. We know none of these two are going to win, even if they are number 30. Not Natalya or Tamina. So who gives a shit? I probably won't watch anyway. So why do we need to see this for? I don't know why. Sasha Banks was arriving. Kalisto showed up, basically praising her or whatnot, giving her a hug. Where's Kalisto been, to be honest? Reginald showed up then, I guess, with a bottle of wine, saying, it could pair when you lose your title. Sasha said, you're freelance or whatnot, because, you send the wine back to Carmella because she's going to have a broken jaw. And, you could have it for yourself because it looked like you could use a drink after what happened last week. So she walked away after that. They had a video package for Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn was talking to Nakamura in the back with his, conspiracy documentary he's working on. As he talked about, listen, man, you got to help me out, okay? I helped you before. I liberated you. I gave you freedom. I'm the reason why your career is where it is right now. I helped you get the Intercontinental title. I helped you, kind of put magic on when they had their match at TakeOver Dallas a few years ago, whatnot, when Nakamura debuted. As Nakamura basically told him to go to hell. Next, I would say one of the best segments maybe the best segment out of the night. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, the final confrontation. Basically, as they sit down, split screen and whatnot. Kevin Owens say, he's already beaten Roman Reigns twice, and he's gonna keep getting up and fighting until he gets that Universal title. Paul Heyman basically talked about how the tribal chief is not going to lose. And, he's going to speak with the utmost respect. Owen said, how many times are you going to recycle your own material and get Heyman to say that? Roman Reigns then started asking about, let's talk about your dad, Owens. Let's talk about him for a second. He went on to say, your father was a good man, right? He was a great man, right? And Owen said, yes, he is a great man, man. I know what you're trying to do. I'd be careful what you're doing right now. And Reigns said, he was a smart man, and Owen said, yeah, he is. And he's smart enough to understand that you're not in this league. And basically, Roman Reigns went on to say that Kevin Owens said, you're not a king, you're not a knight, you're not a bishop. I said Bischoff. Bischoff. I meant to say a bishop, a queen, none of that. You're a pawn in this game, okay? And I own this ring, okay? I run this. And you need to know your place, that everything revolves around me. And basically told Owens, if you are that big of a fool that believe you kind of run stuff, then you're not. And that your father is a fool, your grandfather is a fool. They're all fools, basically. And Owen says, I know what you're trying to do. And Owens kind of went on a history of why he has his knuckles tattooed because of his grandfathers and whatnot. But Reigns, went on to say that, listen, you're going to meet your grandfathers again one day soon. And, you could tell them what a disgrace you were for not acknowledging me as the tribal chief. And Owen said that, my grandfathers would basically saying that he is a insecure jackass and whatnot. And now Owens is tired of Roman Reigns showing up every week, playing community theater version of a mafia boss, tough guy that everything revolves around him, and everybody's got to be a yes man and whispering in his ear of everything he wants to be said about him and whatnot. As Owens basically says he's going to expose him, and your entire family's not going to stop me because his family's going to be proud of him from his father, his mother, his wife, his kids, his grandparents, everything as they fired up. Kevin Owens said, they're going to be proud of me. I will be the Universal Champion. As Reigns just kind of just took the TV remote, just turned the screen off as Owens is still yelling until he threw the microphone off himself. So Reigns didn't want to hear it. He just threw it off of him. Okay, he just not threw it off him, but Reigns didn't want to hear. He just turned the TV off. Like, yeah, I'm done listening to this guy. This interview's over. I'm done here. Just turned the screen off and he left. But I guess we should say the main event, which some would say, could this match be as great as they had over the summer for the Intercontinental Championship between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles? One would think that, but yeah, that was like the first half of this match. Honestly, I think a lot of people would expect, hey, maybe it's going to be a classic like last time, but obviously not. Well, one, we got Sami Zayn's documentary crew out there. We got Cesaro on commentary, and then we got Big E coming out. And then, of course, some stuff happens at ringside. Of course, it turns into the obligatory six-man tag match. I'm sure everybody saw it coming because then Nakamura came out for the save. Then Cesaro and Nakamura kind of looked at each other for a second and they didn't do anything. But then yeah, it turns into a six-man tag. Okay, so yeah, Nakamura save, and then we did get a six-man tag. Then obviously this is just to eat up time because then at one point, what, Miz and Morrison come out then, and then they come after Big E, and then Otis makes the save. Then we got like a 4-on-5 tag team since it was a no contest. So yeah, a 5-on-4 tag match. And then at some point in time, Sheamus came out because he's from Raw, and then he comes in, he gets the tag from Bryan. He goes in, he broke kicks and just knocks down everybody. Finisher fest, of course, and yeah, Bryan and everybody win the match, but then everybody continues to brawl. And then we got Braun Strowman as a return, and he beats up half the guys out there and power slams Cesaro and Sami Zayn. That's the end of the show. They could have done better with the second half. Obviously, they just kind of ate up time doing a one-on-one to a six-man, then a 10-man, which obviously was just to get people on the show for the Rumble. Do I really care about Strowman being back? Could they have kept him a surprise? Yeah, he's been gone since what? After Survivor Series because of, I don't even remember why, but they say he was suspended. So did he get some vitamin shot or something he was getting? Vitamin B? I don't know about all that, to be honest. So I kind of forgot why he was off of TV for. Yeah, he looks in great shape, don't get me wrong, but it's not like nobody cared about this guy being the fucking Universal Champion when he did have the title last time, or I don't think anybody cares if he wins the Rumble in that. So, I kind of look at Strowman as whatever. It's not one of my favorites to win anyways. I don't see it happening, but we'll see what goes on from there. But still, though, that was SmackDown. Like I said, SmackDown was good. I just felt like the second hour, you could have kept going with AJ and Bryan, but then it just turned like everybody's just coming out, and this is just the final hype before the Royal Rumble this Sunday. But the rest of the show wasn't bad. From the Reigns and Owens promo, Bianca and Bailey wasn't bad. Even the beginning of the show was not bad. The Raw guy showing up on SmackDown was kind of whatever, but hey, it's the brand invitational thing and whatnot. So yeah, that's all I could really take from that. But as I said before, we will be back with the Royal Rumble on Sunday. Yes, double review, I should say. So get ready for that. Tell me who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. I could make a prediction video tomorrow if I want to. I'm not really sure. If I have time throughout the day, maybe I will make one kind of going over the entire card. for Royal Rumble this Sunday. But other than that, I will be back Sunday. So yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Hoodie890. Tell me what you think about Royal Rumble, or it's not Royal Rumble, but tell me who you think's gonna win the Royal Rumble, and tell me what you thought about SmackDown tonight. Okay. Other than that, I'm done with this show. See you guys later. Peace out.